Hi, my name is Max, and I'm from Sports Illustrated Kids, and today I'm here with Jay Bilas. Jay, some people often refer to you as the quintuple threat, and no, I'm just kidding. I made
How
that
many
up.
is that?
I
Three
made
or four
that's
or
five.
five?
That's five.
Five.
But I made that up because you're a writer, an athlete, a lawyer, an actor, a rapper, a commentator, and a tweeter. So overall, though, you've had a really successful career, and you've done so much. What advice do you have for kids who love sports but might not be able to make it to the pros or college?
I mean, my best advice, if anybody cares to hear it, would be to find what you like to do and pursue it. Sometimes when you get older, and you may go down a certain path and think you're doing the right thing to make money or to do all that stuff, to follow something you feel like you're supposed to do, and you don't really follow what you want to do. It's hard to do that later in life. And so when you're younger and you're used to kind of living on less and you don't have a lot of obligations, chase after what you want to do. And you'll know when it's right to try something else if it's not working out. But I've been lucky to be able to do what I want to do, and it doesn't seem like I've ever worked. And so I'm really fortunate, and I know it. I mean, I'm very grateful to be in the position I'm in and to be doing something I like doing.
Yeah, you're also pretty gifted with your genes. I mean, I wish I was 6'8".
I wish I was 6'9". The tall I would have been a better player if I were bigger. But yeah, being 6'8" was very helpful in basketball. It wasn't very helpful in finding pants, but basketball was very helpful.
I know you feel that NCAA players should be compensated in some way. How would you suggest that be done?
Well, I'm one of those guys that thinks that everybody should be allowed to benefit to the level of their talent. So, there's no other student that is told what they can earn, what they can't earn. And I don't see why a player should be told what they can earn. And when you're dealing with a college sports, which is a multi-billion-dollar business, my thing would be let each school decide what they want to do, and if they want to pay, and let them pay. If they don't, that's their choice. But we seem to know who to recruit. We seem to know who to put in the game, and who to start, and who not to start, and who to play. We can make all our decisions on who to pay too.
Mm-hmm. Would that impact how you view the one and done situation? And do you think kids should be allowed to go to the NBA right out of high school?
I think they should be, but that's a question that the NBA has to answer for itself. This so-called one and done rule is really an eligibility rule for the NBA draft. So, like a lot of unions and a lot of closed shops, they can decide who's eligible to come into their business. And the NFL does it, Major League Baseball does it, and the NBA does it as well. So it's a really interesting problem and an interesting deal.
What did you like best about playing in Madison Square Garden when you were a player?
I didn't get to play here. My team played here. I was hurt my senior year, so I was injured the first few games, and so I had to sit out. And we played in the Big Apple NIT. And so I was here, but I was wearing a suit instead of playing. So it was really, really frustrating for me personally. But it was good for our team won the tournament, so that was kind of fun. And for anybody that gets to be here, let alone play here, it's a thrill. This is a bucket list place, and it's right up there with Fenway Park or Wrigley Field or Allen Fieldhouse, Cameron Indoor Stadium. You name it. It's one of the great venues in all of sports.
Is it true that back in college when you played for Duke that you had the biggest biceps?
I thought I did. I had to. Even though 6'8" sounds like it was big, I played center, and I think I was the smallest center in the ACC for the time. 4 years I was there, or one of them, and so I felt like I had to get a little stronger to be able to hang with some of the great players I had to guard, because most of them were 6'11" or 7 feet. So I spent more time in the weight room than some of my teammates did.
Would your 1986 team with Johnny Dawkins have beaten this year's team?
We would have been really competitive at every position except the center spot. Johnny Dawkins was one of the greatest players I've ever seen. And Tommy Amaker is now the head coach at Harvard. And Mark Allery. We had David Henderson. We had a great team. I was really the only anchor dragging us down, but it was a good group of guys, and we'd be competitive with these guys. But the current players keep getting better and better. They're just younger. The only thing we had on these guys is we're older.
I understand that coaches know and admire that you come prepared. What do you do to prepare for games?
I talk to people, I talk to coaches a lot, and I watch a ton of film, and that's really helpful. Is knowing what teams do and what they're going to do. I get to know the players when they're in high school, so even if they do leave early, I've got a base of knowledge before they even get here. And I love it. So, when you love it, you pay attention to it, you watch every detail, and you try to not, I'm hoping not to make every game a clinic, but I enjoy it so much And when you got a job that you love, I can't imagine anything better.
Did you always know that you wanted to be an on-air commentator?
I thought I did, yeah. When I was a kid, I thought that someday I was capable of doing this. I just didn't know what it took. So I was always one of those guys that said, someday I'm going to do that. But I didn't really understand the process. And I started working in it when I was in college. I was like a runner and a gopher, and I worked for ABC Sports during the summer times and got to know a lot of people and thought, this is something I'd really like to do. But I wasn't sure I could ever do it at a decent level and certainly make a living at it. So that's been a pleasant surprise.
And how did you become so incredible at this?
Well, that's nice of you to say. I don't look at it that way. But I just worked at it, and you try to, when you started, you try to learn as much as you can. And I paid attention because I work with great people, like not only the people, like the play-by-play people I work with and all the sideline reporters, but our producers and directors are awesome, and they're superstars. They don't get seen on camera, but they're superstars, and you try to listen to them as best you can.
If you were not a commentator, would you be a rapper?
I would like to try that. But I'm one of those guys that I'm like a lot of former athletes. Like, I like music and I really suck at it. I'm terrible at music, but I would have loved to have done it. But I would probably, instead of being the guy singing, I would probably be the guy in the back playing the cowbell. You always need more cowbell.
And let's see if you can figure out what this is from. Spilled something on my tux. I couldn't even make the dinner. My pain is their pleasure. I'm the saint and sinner. I gotta go to work.
I gotta go to work.
Yeah,
that's Jeezy. Yeah, it's a little Jeezy, TM 101.
Yeah, I checked out your tweet this morning.
Every morning.
I love it. It's so cool.
I have a good time with it. It's
always
fun.
Laugh.
It's fun.
It's great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
This has
Max.
been great.
You're awesome at this. I think I'm out of a job. I'm out of a job.
Well, thank you.
If you could, don't show this to my bosses. That'll be bad for me. Give me 10 more years.
Thank you so much for watching. And this was Jay Bilas. And I'm Max from Sports Illustrated Kids, and I'll see you next time.
Max is awesome.